All right, guys, today's the 30th of September 2025, the last day of the month. All right. So today we're going to do the crazy market talk with KEL, crazy anytime, anywhere. All right, so let's go into the fundamental first to see what is happening in the global market. Good morning to you, to all my friends online. Good to see you guys. Okay, let's go to the fundamental first. Now, the S&P 500 continued to trade higher as AI leader NVIDIA rebounded. EA surges on takeover. So let's just look into the news here. Okay, S&P 500 rose on Monday as some Wall Street regained some on the footing after last week. There's some profit taking on the AI market. All right, basically NVIDIA is the one that lead the charge usual as the AI trade put pressure on the broader stock market. Some traders even question whether whether there was enough energy to power an infrastructure plan between NVIDIA and OpenAI. So basically, now we all know that the whole recent movement now is all about AI, and everybody is talking about AI. Right, everything's about AI. So it's something similar that we had back in 1999 when everybody was talking about the Nasdaq.com crisis. All right. So shares of EA, Electronic Arts, all right, go up by 4.5% after it's going to take private in a $55 billion deal. Now, usually when you see the deal going so big itself, right, usually it's all the typical signs of the market reaching a feverish top. And of course, the thing is right now that the S&P 500 has recorded its worst weekly performance since August 1st. So again, that tells you that actually the big boys are already taking profit from the market. So something you need to take note of that, yeah? But of course, there are always the people who sell, someone will always buy. So some people think that this is a good time to buy because now the AI story is still going to continue, according to some people, and they feel that this is going to be a good one. Now, everybody is focusing now is the possible shutdown of the federal government this week. Right, as usual, US is a country that will always run out of money. That's why they keep on printing money, they borrow money to survive. US have been surviving based on this for the last 70 years. So one thing to note is that okay, if there's going to be a shutdown, the labor market said it will not release any data, including the non-farm payroll report that was slotted for this coming Friday if the shutdown isn't averted. So that's why we have to see whether will there be any shutdown these 2 days. But if you ask me, there will be a shutdown. Now, why do I say that? Because US always does this. Okay, they'll shut it down first. They force the Congress to push it up the ceiling, print money, and the whole thing always go through the whole thing. This is like it's a repeated thingy itself. Now it could the so-called shutdown can be stretched longer, but it always will come back. So it's very, very silly here itself, right? But it's always like that, yeah. But this time now, maybe with the market at the highest level now, it's going to be quite difficult to, do that. Oh, Susan had just said gold has just tripped the KTR plus one. Let's take a look. Okay, let's bring it up. And okay, oh yeah, wow, gold is at 3849 now. My God, 3849. So guess indeed the KTR plus one has been triggered. Congratulations to everybody. Making money has been proven to be very simple and easy. Yeah. Okay, let's continue with the fundamental news. Thank you, Susan, for informing us that KTR for gold has been traded. Well done. So Vance, the vice president, has meet up with Donald Trump and the leaders, and he said that we are headed to a shutdown, which I totally believe it happens. All right, because the Democrats won't do the right thing. In short, the Democrats doesn't really want to help the Republicans, and it's obviously there's a big difference between them. One want to spend money, one don't want to spend money, of course, for various reasons. So because of that, right, a shutdown will definitely happen, yeah, in my opinion. Okay. So with less than 2 days, so by tomorrow, it will be a shutdown. If we shut down, that means that there will be no non-farm payroll coming out on Friday. So please take note of that, yeah? Okay. So now the thing is this, both camps are all, fighting each other. Some say this, some say that. But is that, of course, the Republican has a very small majority over the Congress, so that's why it is still possible to go through eventually. All right. So of course, unless the Republicans, some of them cross over, then that'll be very interesting. Yeah. Okay. So do note the Republican holds a 53 vote majority in the chamber. So actually, it's just a matter of time. Okay. So of course, markets have to speculate and say that the shutdown would there be any impact? Now, in the past, there's no impact. This time around, maybe a little bit because of the market at the peak level. Now, China's stock market has been moving up quite a fair bit, right? If you missed out China run, let me show you the China run right now. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, let's build up issue showing the screen today. Moment, yeah. Seemingly there's some issue on my side here. Not able to show my MT4. Okay, wait a minute. Something is wrong. Just a moment. Let me just unshare my. Oh, gosh. Okay, so there's some usual technical issue once again on my side here. I'm already using my own 3G to do this, yeah, but it seems that there's some still not enough to buffer this. Okay, so seems to be coming back. Okay, let me just try again. Okay, so this is a China A50 counter. Can you see? It has risen from 13,600 all the way to 15,167. Basically, the market has been climbing up quite a fair bit since the start of August. Yeah. Now, remember back then in August, I was telling people around me, I said that look, China market will go up. Despite everybody was very negative, I told them that China market will be going up because there is a lot of policy that is actually pretty good for the Chinese market. All right, so this is what's happening right now. Yeah. Okay. All right, let me continue with my sharing. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now let's go into some very important and very interesting fundamental. Good morning to you guys. All right, I actually posted on my Twitter account. If you want to know, my Twitter account is crazy.com. Okay, that is my Twitter account. All right, so first of all, we do note that, okay, the current unemployment is actually going up in US, although that there is not much on the mainstream media, but actually the expected unemployment result is going to come and hit next year, yeah. And of course, something to take note, everybody, this is very important. Let's take a look. Now, this is the US dollar chart over the many, many years. And it seems that since 2010 to 2024, most of the time, the US dollar will enter a strong buy this signal. That means usually by these 2 months, October and November, you notice this, you will have a very strong month of buying. Okay, so what does it mean? If this is true, then that means that gold might have some profit taking in the coming month. Okay, so I'm not saying that gold will definitely drop, but based on the seasonal pattern of the dollar, excuse me, usually the dollar will recover or go up during the October and November month. But of course, there were months whereby it was terrible, down by 2%. But if you look at it, majority of the time, it's actually positive. So this one is to take note. Yeah, if you want, you can go to my this Twitter to take a look. All right, this is the seasonal pattern of the US dollar. Okay, now the other thing that you want to take note itself is actually now the US central banks, not only the one that cutting interest rate, in fact, 82% of the world central banks has been cutting interest rate. Now, when central bank cut interest rate, it's never a good thing, especially when the global ones are cutting it. So usually, as you can see, whenever the central bank cuts interest rate at a very fast level, all right, we all know that that is because the market is going to enter a selling wave in the time to come. Okay, so this one is to be taken care of, yeah. All right, next one I want to show to you is this. This is the S&P 500 buyback blackout. Okay, so buyback blackout means they stop buying back their own shares. So apparently now we are going to enter a phase whereby usually the S&P 500 companies will not be able to buy back their shares. So if they cannot buy back their shares, means that the stock market may come to a halt. Okay, so that is something that to take note of. So all these sort of fundamental thing you don't get to see on the mainstream media, but I managed to dig it out for you so that you can utilize it for your own trading for the midterm to long-term investment. Yeah. Okay, there are more to go, but if I cover this, it'll take a very long time, so I'm going to skip all this. I'll bring to you something that you are interested in right now. Just give me a moment. Where is it? Okay, this one is very important. Everybody take a look here. Now, it shows that the US dollar is depreciating very quickly. And according to a federal model, every 10% drop in the US dollar result to a 30 basis point boost to inflation. So which means that if every time there's a 10% drop in the US dollar, the inflation CPI data by right will go up by 0.3. So if you look at this right now, right, this if the US dollar continue to fall, which is expected to happen, then the inflation will keep on going higher, and then that will hit the market, and that that is also why gold can actually go higher later when the US interest rate really comes down. So as I promised to you, I will now share with you my view on gold versus the US dollar, and then we do a comparison and see how it goes over there. Yeah. Okay, see a moment. Okay. So I'll share this shortly. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the market right now. Okay, again having some little issue with my MT4 crossover. Okay, it's coming in very slowly, so I just take time on this. Okay, so let's look at the US market now to begin with. Now, one thing is that for CRAZII, once you learn a skill from CRAZII, you can learn it and apply it on every market that you can see available on the CRAZII system. Yeah. So that's why once you learn the skill set from me, you can be on your own regardless already. Okay, so let's start the day with the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones opening price is 46,299, and it's a DJDD today. That means the OP will be the decider. Now, the thing is this, if the market do break OP and break MLP today, which I think will likely happen, there's a good chance to see that the market will be trading down to the pivot 2 level at 46,191. Now, why am I more bearish today? Because I am very, very certain that there will be a shutdown in the US government. All right. So yesterday we already see the market try to recover, but the market sold down at the end because obviously on the fear that of the US shutdown. Yeah. So if the shutdown do come in, right, most likely the market will bring it down, and it's a stack here as well between the KCB and the MA30. So 45,950, I think most likely will happen. So it's a 300 points drop from here. So for people who want to short together with me, when the market trades below MLP, you can try to short for 200 points, right? Join me inside here if you want to. Now, we cannot go big because the KSI is green. The KSI is green, so we cannot go big. Okay, we can only do small sell. Okay, now, of course, if people think that it will still go up again, then you can do a big buy above OP. But just be careful because now we have fundamental news with you. Yeah. Okay, next one is gold, the one that you're waiting for. Now, a lot of people in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia are all trading gold, right? And obviously, gold is going up very nicely. But we have to take our position here to watch gold closely, because when gold get too expensive, meaning inflation is so expensive, this is not good for the whole market. Yeah. Okay. Now, gold today opening price is 38.33 and the MLP is 37.93. So on this part itself, right, it's above OP, it's above MLP. So that's why I buy gold this morning. So above OP, we bought gold, and I mentioned the UKTR +1 take profit. Now, why do I say that? Because you must understand the market has stretched quite a fair bit yesterday. So usually when the market stretch a lot, if there's going to be another burst of fire, the maximum is about KTR +1. Okay, and there is a pivot one level resistant at 38.52, and this morning the high is 38.50. Now 3850, in my opinion, is a pretty good level for a ballpark figure. So that's why I think that if gold later do pull back down, there's a very high chance gold may pull back down to MLP at 37.93. I suspect the US dollar will recover in the near term. Okay, that's why I foresee that gold might be pulling back. Okay, so let me show you now my proposition on the gold. You see that? So this is the US dollar chart, as you can see on your screen right now, and you can see that the US dollar is a little bit recovering, and that is kind of expected. So if the US dollar do recover a little bit, okay, because of whatever reason, okay, then the gold will come down. Okay, so then take note, yeah, this one to be very important. So let's just do the simple cross comparison between the US dollar and the gold chart, and then we can see the difference between them. Okay, so you can see over here that we can see very clearly that we have this gold chart moving all the way up itself, and the dollar going down all the way. Okay, so we do a simple mathematics here. Everyone take a look here. So if we do a crossover here, whereby the dollar was at 100, the gold back then was trading approximately, let me just give to you the figure. The gold was trading approximately at 33.22. Okay, 33.22, yeah. 33.22. So that was gold, okay? So after that, gold went down all the way to 96. 20, okay? And gold went up all the way to 3,700. Okay, so if you do a simple mathematics here as well, right? The ratio, okay, the ratio between them. Okay, let's try it out, yeah? So take a calculator. Okay, so you can see that the difference between them. Take a calculator out. Okay, and then we do a cross-section comparison. 3700 minus 3322, we get about 378 on this side. Okay, now the other side will be the 3.8, right? Okay, 3.8. So if you do a comparison, all right, 378 divided by 3.8, or make it 380 pips. So the comparison is almost exactly 0.99. 0.99. That means they're actually 1-to-1 ratio in the dollar and the gold. So which means right now, everybody take note. Yeah, it's going to be a mind-blowing thingy. Let me show you short while. So which means that, okay, let me clear my screen here. Okay, so now the US dollar, now the gold price is at 3,840. This is a cash market, yeah, current cash market, not the futures, yeah. And the dollar right now is 97.99. Okay, so make it 98. Yeah, make it easier, 98. Easier. Okay, so now everybody, if the dollar is to go down again because of the crisis to 96 again, we are talking about another 200 pips, right? So which means that if the dollar is to go down to 96, the US gold will be going up to 4,048. Okay, got it? That means that if the US dollar do come down to 96 figure, there is a very high chance that the gold will shoot past $4,000 and go all the way to 4,048. All right. Now, this is just pure mathematics. Whether it will happen or not, that is really dependent on the market. All right. But at least now you got an idea how high gold can go if the dollar really do crash down. All clear? If all clear is all right, press number 2 right now, everybody. If you hear me and understand this, press number 2 right now. So you can see that we are not just only swing charting, we also look at global market. We also look at everything here itself to understand what's going to happen. Yeah. So we don't just only look at only one spectrum. We look at more than that. Okay. So for those people who want to take the screenshot of this right now, take a picture of this. Yeah, put a picture of this, and just ask yourself if you believe that the gold is going to go. I mean, if the dollar is going to go down to 96, then yes, gold should be able to climb all the way to 4,048 level. Okay, so once again, this is something for you to consider. It's not going to be a sure thing, but just take note. Yeah. Okay, moving along. All right, so this is the gold chart today, and then we'll look at the next market today will be on the Bitcoin. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin today, we have a stacked diamond. A stacked diamond. So stacked diamond, what must we do? We just put a line at the closing price, right? So as long as the market closed here, now if the market stays above OP and stay above the stacked diamond line, there's a good chance that this Bitcoin has the ability to go all the way up to 115,747. Okay. Now, if it doesn't and pulls back, which I think it may pull back, we may actually see it down back to 113,299. Now, why do I say that? Because I suspect the dollar will recover, right? Because of profit taking, short covering, or buying by some people. So if the Bitcoin do pull back, it should be pulling back to 113,299. Okay, upside wise is 115,774. Okay. Now, someone just texted me on the side, KEL, have you shorted the Dow Jones? Yes, I did. I just shorted the Dow Jones at 46,290. Yeah. Okay. Next market that you want to take a look is Ethereum. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Okay, so this is Ethereum, and you can see for the Ethereum chart, the market has moved up from the bottom and now is kind of resisted at the pivot 1 at 42, 46 level. So Ethereum now is trading below OP, and very good chance it might be coming down all the way back to the MLP level at 41.35 level. Yeah. Now the boys are definitely in a buy mode. Yeah, but the market is not reacting to it. So be careful when this happens. You just have to wait and follow the OP rule as guided. Now only if the Ethereum can stay above OP at 42.24, then you can buy Ethereum for today. All right, so we stick the front end of the OP. Yeah, we are very into OP. So unless the market breaks OP, if not, we will not enter the buy. Now the last chart for you for today, let's take a look, and that will be the US dollar against the yen. All right, let me just take a look at dollar against the yen. It'll take some time again to pop up, but I'm glad that it's still functioning. Now, this is the US dollar yen, and you can see that right now the dollar yen is starting to recover. It has the support of the pivot 1, so which means that if the dollar yen do go back up again, the dollar strengthen, gold will come down. So that's why, guys, for today itself, don't chase gold already. You already hit KDR +1, leave it alone, okay? You are buying now at the real epic highest level of all human history from the day one gold is being created or being unearthed until now. We are at the highest level. Now, of course, to predict 4,048 is something that way, way, way beyond my level, but it's just pure maths, okay? So let me tell you this, let the gold come down first. a few days later, when things is cheap again, we can buy gold, and next trip, who knows, we go to 3,009, 4,000, who cares? So we just have to follow through, yeah? For now itself, we just have to wait for a while. Now, of course, when I say this, there's some people who say that, Kel, you are being too pessimistic. You should look forward that dollar crash is good for the world. Now, I can tell you this dollar crash is not good for the world. Yesterday itself, we already saw that in Thailand, because of the tourism getting lesser due to the conflicts recently with Cambodia. And then after that, the baht itself have increased in value. So the baht increase in value, people lesser go there, and the Chinese hardly now go Thailand because of a lot of reason. So because of all this itself, right, think about this, it will eventually hit the world. A stronger currency will be welcome for a short moment, but you get too expensive for the local, then things will get very nasty. All right, guys, that will be all for today's sharing. I've given you my personal take on what to do. I hope that you enjoy this session. This is Cal signing off. Take care, and thank you for all the people coming online today. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.